Happy video day, guys. Christina, Brooke here. Today I am bringing you the long-awaited, I have been waiting for the entire day, palette from Pat McGrath. It's the Celestial Odyssey. So it finally arrived on my doorstep and I am so excited to dive into this. If you guys didn't see my Make Up Your Mind, I did search through my collection to find this palette and I was so excited with the outcome. I could not wait to pick it up. So it's sitting here in front of me. It does have quite a little problem, but don't worry, it's not going to happen to everybody, but it did happen to me. But yeah, in today's video, I'm going to be running down everything that you need to know about the palette. I'll be swatching it for you guys. I'll be telling you guys the details. I'll search for any comparisons that I can give you guys, and we're going to run everything down today. So if you guys are excited and you're not subscribed already, I would love it if you would maybe want to hit subscribe, join the family. I talk a lot about makeup on the channel. I do a lot of Make Up Your Minds, where I try to mimic palettes before I decide whether I want to pick them up. I also do some fashion videos, so you might like it around here, so maybe you would want to subscribe. But anyways, let's go ahead, let's get into it. A lot to go over, and let's start right now. Okay, so the first thing is there was a little issue with my palette. I'm so sad, but don't worry guys, this isn't going to happen to everybody, but I have seen a few people have this problem. It came broken. I'm going to show you guys the very sad outcome. There is my beautiful Celestial Odyssey, and this beautiful green shade right here came completely shattered. I did fix the palette as much as I could in order to show it to you guys on camera and also to play with it, and I kind of pressed in the shadow as much as I could, and as I was trying to clean it, I was really trying not to get the pigment into any of the other shadows because then you couldn't swatch them, so it was really a pain in the butt. But I will tell you guys, hopefully this does not happen to everybody, but I have seen a few people who got their palettes already say that the shade came a little broken. Now I think it's because Pat McGrath typically ships her stuff ground, which you guys know ground shipments, they're not usually the most delicate with. Unfortunately, it's broken. That shade also seems like it is extremely soft, so yeah. Hopefully it doesn't happen to too many people. I will be contacting Pat McGrath. They have an amazing customer service though, so I'm sure it won't be an issue, but I will update you guys on Instagram if you're curious of what happened. Anyways, so what we're gonna do first is, I don't even know where to start. So this is the Mothership Mega Celestial Divinity. It retails for $78 US. It's available right now on Pat McGrath's website. It's probably gonna come to Sephora as well. They're saying there's 5 luxe finishes inside of this palette. They're saying this is your mission, go where no beauty lover has gone ever before. So they're saying presented in a cyber bronze starscape balanced with warm and cool tone. This literally sounds like I'm reading like a sci-fi novel of a bunch of amazing shades that are like extraterrestrial and kind of insane. But anyways, so besides her extraterrestrial ideas of what this palette is, it's an absolutely gorgeous palette that has 18 different shades in it. You're getting actually different formulas in here. I do see that you're getting kind of like the metallic that has a little bit of glitters in it. You're getting like shimmers, the creamy, you're getting like nice mattes in here, nice foils. You are getting an array of textures, but for the most part, this is primarily a shiny metallic-y palette. Usually her holiday palettes are like that. So the last Mega Mothership that she did the same thing. It was like primarily metallics and very little matte. So just FYI, there's only 4 mattes in here. 4 out of the 18 shades are matte. So that's definitely something to point out. So it's made, so let's see where this palette is made without turning it around. So it's made in the USA with imported ingredients, and it has a 12-month lifespan. So let's go ahead and let's swatch this together. I'm gonna show you guys the daylight swatches, but first let's swatch it together. Creamy, oh my God, this actually, to me, it looks so amazing. Like, I love that shade. So this is what it looks like. Oh, that is so gorgeous. So that is definitely a shade I will definitely use. It is rosy, and you know, Pat McGrath tends to give us like 5,000 roses, but at the same time, I think it could be absolutely stunning. So let's go into the next 3. So this is what the next 3 shades look like, and also very pretty. So we'll start off with this one. Very pretty, almost like peachy pink tone. Then we have a gold, because Pat McGrath had to give us a gold. And unfortunately, it does not have a green twist to it, which I was hoping that it would. But it is not like super gold. It is gold, but it's not like the super gold. So that's good. So now this shade is actually kind of cool. It is similar to what I thought but I like this one. So this is a deep blackish blue with a little purple in it. It's super, super cool. I would love to do a smoky eye with color. To me looks like I don't know, like what I would think space looks like, you know, like a space galaxy palette looking color. Okay, so the next one is, so let's go into the next three. Try not to pick up any of the pigment from that broken shade. So these are my next three. So we've got this beautiful one right here. Now this one actually is, it looks to be a dual chrome. It looks to be a dual chrome, but it doesn't shift much, but it looks, yeah, it has to be a dual chrome. It has a slight shift in it. So then this one here is a nice, beautiful brown. Oh, that is gorgeous. And then we have another really nice metallic, which is super, super soft. You guys see I hardly even dug into that pan and it's crumbling everywhere because of how soft these shades are. So that's definitely going to be a good and a bad thing, because usually when shades are very, very soft and they're metallics, you will get a lot of transfer on your face. So just remember that. But that is the next shade. Then let's go into the next three. These shades are so soft. So we have this one right here. This is going to be a really nice transitional shade. It's a soft brown. I actually used this one today. It works really, really nice and it blends really well. Then we have this one right here that looks kind of like a more pink, but what I like is that they didn't go like super pink. Thank God. I'm so tired of Pat McGrath's pinks. They still did pink, but it's a little bit less. This color right here looks insanely beautiful. So it's like a lavender and I love it. Lilac lavenderish color. That's gorgeous. So I can't wait to put that all over the lid. I want to do like 4 looks, 1 palette with this palette, because I just feel like there's so much inspiration into this palette. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. So I think I will be posting a video with a lot of looks because there's just so much you can do. So then there's this one right here that is a very pretty pink blending shade. Honestly, wish that this one wasn't in here because I feel like I have this one so many times from Pat McGrath and other motherships and other palettes that I wish it was something different. Then I have this bronze shade. It is also another shade that's very typical that I think I already have from a Pat McGrath palette. That one didn't really need 100%. Then there's this one. I love this shade. It almost has like a shift to a pink. It is also a shade that I feel like I have seen before, but it's absolutely stunning. So I'm not complaining about that one. Getting a little messy here. So here are the next 3 right here. So we have 2 colors here that looks very like Circo Loco, which is this orange and this blue. So then we have this one, beautiful peach topper shade. Cannot wait to use that. Then we have a beautiful metallic blue. Oh, that swatched amazing. An amazing orange that's almost like a burnt orange. Reminds me a lot of Circo Loco. And then we have the last 2 shades, which are the shades that I used primarily today. This beautiful green that I will get so much pigment out of because it's literally all over my room, all over my face. So I'm going to put it up here. This is that amazing green. This is the broken shade in my palette, but it is probably the most beautiful shade in this palette. And then this one actually is not that far behind. This is like a pewter. Oh, that's so beautiful. You see that? It's like a pewtery silver. So that is the last shade in the palette. So yeah, guys, so that is all of the shades in the new palette. If you guys can see, there's an array of shades there. It's not a very typical palette. There's a bunch of different color tones in here. This is actually really, really pretty. Now let me go ahead and wipe this off my hand because these are quite messy metallics, okay? So there's metallics and there's messy metallics. These are messy metallics. So let me go ahead and clean my hand really fast. I'll come right back. So now that we have swatched them together and you guys saw all the colors, let me show you guys them in daylight. So this is my daylight swatches and you guys can see a real true color in daylight. So I always like to include these kind of swatches so you guys can really get an idea of the colorations and also the textures, and these are all of the colors in the Celestial Odyssey for you to look at. And now that we have gone over swatches, details, and all of that good stuff, let's zoom in. Let's do this eye look. You guys will see what I'm thinking about the formula, and then at the end I'll be giving you guys results. Alright guys, so I was waiting for this palette to arrive all day today. This was supposed to be here a long time ago and it got here pretty late. I'm hoping to have this video up for you guys tonight. We will see what happens. But unfortunately, my palette did not come all in one piece. I have seen a few people's palettes come broken, and I have a feeling there is a very sensitive shade in here, and that is the green. So I kind of fixed it as much as I could just so I could show you guys. But if you guys can see that beautiful green on the corner there, that is the culprit and it broke. But this is what the outer casing looks like. It looks just like this. And then I'm going to show you guys the back. The back looks like this. It has all of the details about all of the ingredients and everything. And we're going to do a quick eye look. Let's play with this palette. I'm dying to play with it. I feel like I've played with this before, just because since I did my Make Up Your Mind, it really reminds me of the colors that I thought it was going to be. So super excited. Okay, trying not to flip the palette too much. I'm going to start off with this shade right here. Let's put that in the crease. I feel like I have green everywhere. Like, I literally cleaned my table and I have green everywhere again. Oh my goodness. I hope all of you guys don't get your palettes like this because it is such a mess. Oh my gosh. So I'm just gonna apply this brown, and so far that's blending really nice. Yeah, that's a nice like mid-tone brown. It looks really good on my skin tone. It's blending really, really nice. I'm happy that it's not super dark because there is not many blending shades. Most of this palette is metallics. I really want to use the green because it's kind of, I might as well, right? Because it's like literally ruining everything for me today. So why don't we just use this green? And I also want to use this color next to it. So I think I'm going to play with both of these colors. So first I'll lay down the green. Oh, you see, it's a really pretty green and it's everywhere on my table right now. Like, this green is gorgeous. And it's a mess. It's a mess. And then I'm going to put the other color right next to it. That's really pretty. All right, so that is what it's looking like. Very, very pretty, but I am going to have to go in with a deeper shade into the outer edge. Ugh, this one right here. It's going to be hard to show you guys. I hope you guys can see. So I'm going to just put the deepest brown here on the outer V. So the green is a beautiful shade. It does seem like it might be a little bit on the messier side. Granted, mine's broken, but let me tell you, it makes a huge mess. Yeah, those metallics are gorgeous. I'm gonna go ahead and add like one of these pinkier shades, like maybe this one right here to the lower lash line. I'm trying to show you guys this palette without making it fall everywhere. I'm gonna make this look a little bit more fun because we're gonna try to play with a bunch of colors here. That's a really pretty like purpley pink. Okay, let's try and correct that green glitter mess that I have underneath my eye. All right, so that is what we are going with right now. I'm just gonna add like one of these brighter shades to the inner corner. I'm gonna grab this one. Ah, poor palette. I'm gonna grab this and add it to the inner corner. Nice and vibrant little shade there. Guys, these metallics, like, they really are super intense, like very intense. So there we go. That is the eye look. Let me go ahead and finish up the eye. I'm going to do this eye over here, and we're going to swatch some more of the colors. I'll give you guys some of my thoughts. Let's go ahead and let's continue right now. All right, guys, so here is the final look, and this is what the look looks like, and I'm very, very happy with the results. Now, one thing I am going to tell you guys is these metallics in here, most of them, not every single one, are the very soft metallics that if you put too much on your lid and then you go in with a deeper shade and you start to blend them together, you can have a lot of like metallic-y particles kind of transfer along because they're so creamy. So just remember that. Use moderation when even playing with the metallics. You don't have to go too crazy because they have so much pigment. So just, you know, maybe you want to do your face last with this palette, especially if you're using the very soft metallics. When it comes to formula, definitely those mattes were blending awesome. And the metallics, like I said, they're beautiful. They're absolutely stunning. I didn't use all of them, but I didn't feel any that felt to me like it could be like problematic. They actually felt all very, very consistent and very good quality. Very good quality. So sometimes when you get these holiday palettes, you kind of feel like, oh, they gave us a lot of shades, but they kind of slacked out on the quality. This feels really, really good. Yeah, you're not getting any of those really special formulas like the ones with all the exaggerated glitters everywhere, which are beautiful, which I love in the motherships, which I have two of them sitting behind me. but it's not like you always need those. You don't get those in here. So last year's palette looked like this. If you compare it to last year's palette, it's very similar. It's just actually, it's a little bit more weighty. I have to kind of hold them like this just because I don't want that green to get all over the table, but you guys can see last year's palette versus this year's palette. One of the biggest noticeable differences is they kind of tried to make this one look a little bit more upscale, I guess, because they used a thicker cardboard. So last year's is a lot thinner. It's a thicker cardboard and it still has ribbons. If you guys can see, my ribbons completely broke off of the other Pat McGrath palette. I didn't even notice that they were there or even that they broke. So honestly, these will probably break on you, and I don't think it really interferes with anything, just the mirror will fall down. And they also added this plastic in here. So this is actually plastic, and they put the Pat McGrath logo in the center, whereas last year it was just a regular palette and it didn't have any of that. Now, I personally feel like this year's palette just feels a little bit more luxurious. You are paying more for like this kind of packaging, I would assume, but it's not like they kind of slacked out on the actual pigments inside and they didn't give you stuff that was like maybe a few duds. It seems like they're all really good quality. I don't know which one I honestly would like better. I guess because I have a lot of makeup, I like the slender look of this one, but because I know people are paying a lot of money for these, I do like this because I do feel it's nicer that she's making it look a little bit more luxurious for the price tag. Not everybody knows that Pat McGrath has these amazing shadows, you know, so when you go to buy this and you see how expensive it is, you might be like, but what am I getting? It looks like a ColourPop palette, you know what I mean? So when you see something a little bit more luxurious looking, it's not super luxurious looking, it just looks better than the other one. You may think like, okay, I understand a little bit more, especially this being plastic. I do like that this is plastic. I don't care for the Pat McGrath logo in the center, but I do like that that's plastic. If this one would have been plastic, that would have been nice too. It just makes it a little bit more sturdy, even though the other one didn't come broken to me, but this one did, so that's interesting. Now, when it comes to color selection, I have to say I don't know which one I like more. I'm gonna look at both of them really quickly and just tell you guys. Okay, so looking at both of them, to be honest, the one that attracts me more is last year's, okay? But I think that this year's is going to be a lot more useful. Like, I feel like I could see people using this year's as an everyday palette, whereas last year's was very hard to use as an everyday palette. So I do think a lot of people are going to like this. I think you're gonna be able to do a lot of wearable looks. You could stay within the browns. You could just add some of these more subtle metallics together, deepen out your outer edge with this. That's a very easy everyday kind of look that you could wear to the office. You have a little pops of color that if you don't want to use them all over the lid, you can use them on the lash line. You have the option to put them on your lid if you want. So I do like that. The only thing that I do wish is I wish that this was not like a super strong pink. And I wish we would have had maybe one more deepening shade, maybe like a mossy green. I think a mossy green would have been really cool because it could have changed the looks. Right now I feel like I'm gonna be smoking out my outer edge on every look with brown. And it would have been nice to be able to do it with green, right? So, and because this palette already has a lot of pinks in it, like I feel like I just didn't need any more pink. But let me tell you guys about the comparison. So when it comes to comparisons, between these two palettes, there is the golds that are kind of similar. This year and last year, those are the two golds. So you can see a little bit of a comparison there. However, this year's formula is stronger. Like, I just can feel the difference. It's so much more. The blending shade pinks, the closest are these two. So this is this year, this is last year. And honestly, they're really not that close. When you put them on your hand, there's a little bit closer, but they're not super close. Now the mattes in both palettes seem almost the same. So I'm really happy about that because I love last year's mattes. The green that is so beautiful in this year's is not really that similar to last year's. There was like a green in last year's, if you guys can see. So last year's is this one. That's a little bit deeper, and then this year's is like, whoa, so cool and like kind of like out there, right? So other than that, there was like a few similarities when it comes to like these. When it comes to this formula, they did something similar last year. Last year was the purple version. This year is the blue to black with a little bit of purple version. They're not the same. I'm just saying they have a very similar formula. So there's definitely inspiration here of like a very similar idea, but she definitely gave us different colors. So I'm really happy about that. So how different is it to this year's Utopian? So I think that there was some inspiration from Utopian. You guys see these glittery shades. I talked about this in my Make Up Your Mind. These glittery glittery shades turned into regular metallics is kind of like what I see of this lavender shade, like almost like you see like a regular version of this. And then we have the pink, which it looks so similar to this one. Then we have this metallic pink that looks kind of close to this, or this one, even more this one. Then we have the gold. You see? Then we have the gold that looks similar to this one. So I mean, like I said, I could probably keep going. We've got the bronze that looks close to this, right? They're not identical. Then we have, let's switch hands. Let's switch hands. But, you know, we have also, we've got a brown that looks similar to this one. They're not identical, but yes, they are close. And then we have like a pinky, peachy, brightening shade right here. Almost every color in the Utopian, there's something similar, not identical, but definitely you're going to be able to create similar looks. So if you were looking at this palette right here, you wanted to buy the Utopian, but it was too expensive for you, and maybe you're not into these glittery shades, this brand new palette is basically like a similar color story to Utopian. There's colors in here that are similar. Honestly, guys, other than Utopian, I really think that this palette is pretty much different in my collection. I mean, I'm sure there's other Pat McGrath palettes that have something a little bit closer to the palettes that I own, but the ones that I own, the closest that I could find was Utopian, that had like, you know, it had like a vibe. It's not the same colors, but you're getting a vibe, and it could be a good option if you were looking at that palette. But anyways, that is everything I have for today. I think that this is a beautiful palette. I really like it, and I personally feel like it's the best buy for Pat McGrath. Like, even these little luxe quads, sometimes she doesn't even give you the special formula in them. Like, for example, this one that I got, this one didn't give me any special formulas. Like, I should have just waited and not bought in this one. It used to be cool to buy these quads when they used to have her special formula always in them, but honestly, guys, lately, not every single one of them has been having the special formulas, so for that, it's almost worth it to just wait for these mega palettes and just get like a bunch of her shades. This to me is equivalent to how I feel about the Charlotte Tilbury larger palettes that she releases for the holiday. I almost don't feel like buying her quads throughout the year because I just think those holiday palettes are like where it's at. Like, you get so many. This is like the same thing lately. Like, it's just, you get so many beautiful colors and you're paying not as much money because of all the quantity that you're getting. So I love it. I think it's beautiful. I definitely would recommend it. I'm going to be doing a 4-look 1 palette or something along those lines because I just feel like there's a lot that I can do with this palette to show you guys more. If I didn't answer one of your questions, leave it down below, because on here, your community, all of your friends, they may answer your questions. Some people have this palette already and they've been playing with it, and they can give you their ideas as well down below. So yeah, leave me your comments. Don't forget to hit that subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, I'm going to see you guys in my next video.